Yes. Okay, me the whole meeting Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, call to order. Roll call, please, Kim.
Babcock,
Here.
Bach,
Here.
Simon,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
me,
Here.
and Broda.
Here.
Thank you.
Number one, approval of the minutes for the meeting of the committee of the whole from August 6th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
First by John Broda, second by Justin Block.
Babcock,
Yes.
Bach,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Broda.
Yes.
Thank you.
First chance for public comment. Anybody in the audience? Nothing online? Good. Thank you. Old business? Anybody have any old business? New business. Number two. Discussion and recommendation of declaring certain equipment and personal property as surplus and authorizing its sale or disposition, obsolete computers and electronic equipment, etc. Freud,
I think this is
Is
more
this
of
Joe?
us, yeah.
more
You've
village?
got the list in it. This is declaring surplus. Mostly, this group here is mostly electronics we've got piling up. These are a lot of police department ones that were piled up in their IT room, a lot of stuff we had from here that was piled up. As we've collected all of these items. If they're complete, just literally trash, garbage, we can toss them, we can get rid of them. If there's value to them, we need to officially declare the surplus and then authorize the disposal of it. So that's what this is doing. It's just a lot of electronic equipment from over the years.
Do we pay for recycling or is there a fee if somebody doesn't?
Some of this will end up probably selling off. I think some of it we were gonna send over to the Smash. Yeah, Smash place, yeah.
And they recycle.
Yeah.
How,
And then-
how long do we give it as far as the sit, before we sell, it if it isn't sold?
I mean, some of
is
the
there a
stuff,
period
it's just
of time
depends.
that
Some of the
we-
stuff there's value to, some of the stuff we're gonna just give away. Well, not give away, but we'll donate to places or just try to get rid of that way. Some of the leftovers, we may have to, I don't know if we may have to pay to have the electronic waste portion of it. It just depends on what the items are, but it has value in theory, but very little value. This is all old computers, very old, outdated computers. I think our phones are on here as well in this group. Our phone system, so our old phones, that old phone system, that's something we'll probably auction. We'll probably actually put to like a government auction site. That does have value. People do buy that whole phone, big phone system. People need those replacement parts for those. Scanners and printers are probably just gonna be, turned into a electronics waste area, networking stuff. We'll try to sell, probably try to sell the phone.
Okay,
Generally, it's good.
any recommendations, send this to the board?
So moved.
Second. Block first, John Broda second, vote please.
Bach,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
me,
Yes,
Broda.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Discussion and recommendation to amend the wage schedule for the public works part-time summer employees.
This is true.
This is Troy. I hope.
Yeah, this is, we have to do this every couple of years, same time, or same thing for like plowing and stuff, but this one we had to raise his, the minimum wage went up to $15 an hour, so we raised it to 15 to 17 for non-skilled and 1701 to 1999 for skilled. But say, like the non-skilled would be someone maybe coming right out of high school that's never mowed before, we're trying to teach them, different things like that. Skilled would be someone that's retired, that's mowed before, knows how to use some of the equipment.
I think we did find those two. There's a handbook that has like, here's what's skilled versus not skilled. What would they have to do, what they can do as well as part of our policy.
Why is the 1701 19? Just out of
that's the
curiosity.
range, isn't it?
I think they
What
found,
number, where did we come up with that?
It's, and I kind of look around at different municipalities. Kind of, it's comparable to us, but
So-
There too, around.
So basically, like the non-skilled labor, when I read there was 15 to 17.
Yeah.
So 1701, you get an extra penny if you're slightly skilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
That's how it's.
What's the start, yeah.
And then 1999 sounds like, you know, you're buying a printer or a TV or something. It was just curiosity.
Any other questions for Troy?
It's one of those things that we have to bump at least the minimum wage with the one, so.
Is that what we've done in the past, pretty much, is the minimum wage when it changes, we bump it up a couple dollars above that?
Yes, and like plowing's
Oh, it's a little different.
a little different, we try to keep, everyone else what they're doing, cause plowing's kind of hard, 'cause it's kind of
Mhm.
not too many people want to do it in the middle of the night,
Right.
cold and then also, sometimes like the ones that we have, they stay for a while and they'll get to the top of the pay range, so then we'll have to, extend it.
Motion to send it to the board.
Second.
First Justin Clark, second. Broden, vote please.
Bright,
Yes.
Rhoda,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
and me.
Yes,
Thank you.
Number 4, discussion and recommendation of approval of the tentative and final plat 3 for Glenwood Estates.
This is. Your staff report and in the packet. This is the final plat for Glenwood Estates. This is the territorial annexation that we did a few years, or annexation we did a few years ago. Originally, this was designed, it was going to be a multiple, like a subdivision, right? Multiple lot subdivision. This plat 3, they came back and they're actually dividing only into the 2 lots now. They have one person who's gonna buy one of the lots and put a very big house on it and use that entire property for themselves. So they're not actually gonna subdivide the entire property anymore. This is the final plat of the Glenwood Estates subdivision. This is the sewer to nowhere, goes to this one. You're familiar with
White
that?
School, White School
Off of
Road.
White School Road, yep. We have an agreement with the developer, there's a development agreement, sort of a settlement development agreement to that addresses the village's portions, or part of the village portions of the payback for the village's portions of the sewer. Originally, that was divided amongst all the lots. Because this is gonna combine just the 3 lots with 2 lots on this last one, all of that will be spread about just those 2 lots. So we'll get the same amount, the village will receive the same amount of contribution as it would have if it was developed into multiple lots. It would just be paid sort of one lump sum when they developed this last plat. And Frank's got reviews for engineering, so
Yeah.
you mentioned the road actually.
Yep, so there's a couple things that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. First, during the review process, one of the things that we looked at was the old tentative plat that showed how this was going to be developed. Showed, I can't think of it, what is the north-south road?
Chantal Lane, Chantal Lane.
Chantal
Bradley,
Lane, was originally planned to connect to the northwest side of the subdivision into an existing township road. Our ordinance states that if there's dead end roads, typically these need to be connected into others if they are nearby. We did coordinate with it's Roscoe Township, Steve Schreier, and asked him if he had any intent or if he would like to see Chantel Lane connected into that road. Working with him, he said he did not want to see that, especially because this is now being combined into just 2 lots as opposed to, I think there was 5 or 6 originally. So there really wasn't any benefit for that. So I at least wanted to let you guys know, if you look back at old documents and you see where that road was supposed to extend, we did work with the township and we all agreed, village staff, township and the developer, that there was really no benefit to extending that road to connect. So that is one thing. And then lastly, we did have some minor review comments, some drainage report inconsistencies that we asked the engineer of record, RK Johnson, to address. They just resubmitted their documents on Friday of last week. I did a cursory review. All of our review comments that we asked them to address, they did address. So we will be working on final approvals there, but no major comments or no major reasons why we don't believe as a staff that this can move forward.
There's also a couple of vacations of sanitary easements you see there as well, because again, they're not building all the houses. So we're sort of formally vacating those easements as well. again, those are worked through the sanitary district. They reviewed this, they've had a chance to review that, they've agreed to that as well.
How many new ones did he end up putting in?
Just two in that last.
Yeah, but before that.
I think it was this year, 20, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Around
18 to 20.
18, 20. This big last.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So doing it this way doesn't have to do the additional cost of roads.
So, yeah, they do not have to extend that road to connect into Chantel Lane, so that will be somewhat of a cost savings to the developer to only have to construct that cul-de-sac.
Motion to send this one to the board.
So moved. Second.
First by Justin, second by John Broda. Vote please, Kim.
Simon,
Yes.
Bright,
Yes.
Rhoda,
Yes.
Bach,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
thank you.
Number 5, discussion and recommendation for approval of a variance request to waive the requirement for perimeter landscaping and setback of a parking expansion located at 13548 Metric Road. It's an Mark's Auto Service out on Elevate,
Yeah.
Again, this is a,
This was on the zoning board Wednesday night.
so this was up on ZBA previously, and I know you've been working on it for a bit here, with this is, I don't think we hear is from Mark's Auto, we're at the. This is what they're looking to expand their parking, this is north side of the parking lot is really where the requirement comes in. We have a fairly big or fairly extensive landscaping buffer requirement part of our village code. So that was a waiver from that, allowing them to expand out their parking lot to the north. There's no other areas they really could expand to on the parking lot to actually to do this project. Really, it's the setback. They're also asking for a 0-line setback to the neighbors next to the side of it. The big reason for that is if you can sort of see, if you look at the packets on here. It's really the drive aisle through here is the sort of the issue. Any closer in there, there would be no place for a car to go on the side of the building. Through their area there. You know, they've worked with zoning, they've worked with Brandon to look through this. I think all of our zoning consultants recommending approval of this. They've been negotiating back and forth a little bit on from the original request where they just wanted variance for the whole project. To this where it sort of still meets our code, it still meets the purposes of our code, but allows them to do that expansion, allows them to continue their business and expand that area.
So that right now, that's kind of shared, isn't it? So that it's just kind of,
Yeah.
you drive on both.
It's
Properties.
bigger.
Yeah, so I can speak to that. Yeah, the parking lot to the north of business, we talked with the owners of Mark's Auto. That pavement does go right up to their property line. It's kind of a shared use.
Yeah.
Parking lot is what I would say. They almost act as if that lot line doesn't exist. My understanding of what I was explained by the Mark's Auto ownership group is that they actually maintain some of that parking area on the other property. And so there really wasn't a benefit to, again, having them hold their parking lot improvements further south to establish that landscaping buffer, because then that would completely nix their business plan to operate that north side of the building for ingress and egress. So ultimately, if we were to require the landscaping per the code, then they would have to seek a variance for the drive aisle widths. And from a safety perspective, that's not good. I would say a good choice. So
And to the north has no problems. That's what they set up the zoning.
Correct.
Right.
Being able to share that area.
Okay. Any questions?
I need parking there, taking my car there, so.
Well, no, and I like that they sent to the ZBA, and it's also like, if you look at number 5 on there, they're showing the parcel just slightly down the road. Already had that kind of agreement given, and they're able to do it without setback. It's like, we're not doing anything that's not already there, so. I have no problem, make a motion, move
Okay.
forward.
Motion by John Broda,
Second.
second Mike Simon. Vote please, Kim.
Bright,
Yes.
Rhoda,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Bach,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
thank you.
Number 6, discussion and recommendation of approval of a text amendment revising the Village of Roscoe zoning ordinance, section 15-175, related to land divisions, and Article 3 residential district regulation, Village Code ordinances. VA went 7-0 on this one.
So this one, hopefully everybody looked through it pretty well, pretty detailed. There's a lot of revision, a lot of discussion on this. Essentially what this is doing though, the quick story is that this will allow for townhomes to be a zoning district for townhomes. You know, an attached single family or attached single family units. Because there are 2 single family units attached, there's a 0 setback. So every single time we want to do that, we would have to do a variance to our code to allow them to actually to build on those properties. This will be essentially designed for those multifamily type townhome properties so that they can all be individually owned and broken into separate parcels. Right now, yeah, we have RM zoning, we have our multifamily zoning. You could do that. You could say, yep, here's a 4-family that we're gonna have here. But to actually separate without doing a full condo process, you can actually separate those from individual parcels that can be sold and mortgaged. It's the more important part. Sure, Trustee Broder can speak to that. That's really issue we've had. It's the mortgage, and that's we've had multiple developers, multiple real estate, multiple actually owners, honestly, property owners, talk about this. And this is something that we're seeing all over the area and actually all over the country. This type of zoning is coming into play because of the fact that it can be mortgaged as a separate parcel. They're not responsible necessarily for the entire common.
Unlike a condo association.
Yep.
Which that would be, I'll just speak quickly.
Yeah.
If we had a condo, which we could totally allow that to be, you actually price out a lot of buyers with FHA because a lot of the condo association, because you have to cover the entire structure, they don't have enough money set in reserves usually to do that. So any FHA buyer, which is where most people get their first time home buyers, and these are usually the price points for first time home buyers, they can't use any of that benefit. So.
And insurance too.
And insurance makes
It's
it
a
possible
huge thing right now too.
because it's a roof claim is a
Yeah.
roof claim.
Yeah.
And it's an entire complex. It's not just.
Not just your
One
one
parcel.
separate parcel. So that's what this does. Essentially allows those townhomes. If there's any specific questions if you have about this code, I know there's a lot of changes we're making in there. It is a separate zoning classification, so there will be a zoning district where if there's and right now we don't have anybody's zoned business, because we don't have this district yet. So I'm sure I know there's 2 or 3 that we would probably have once this is finalized, assuming work finalizes it, that will come in and they'll have to come in again for a map amendment to actually change the zoning of the parcel to allow this. So it's not necessarily just automatically allowed, yep, you can split these into properties. You have to be rezoned still. So there's still one more step coming in here where they would come in, rezone into this. The board's going to decide it's appropriate for this area. Do we want to have these single family attached homes? But this is the sort of the first area. So that's one change on here, and very similar to that. Another change that's in this code, which I'm sure you guys have seen, is the process for minor subdivisions, essentially, minor plats. Essentially, it's anything that's under the Plat Act, it's a Plat Act exemption. They won't have to come in for a full plat review. They'll come in here. It gives us the teeth to say, yeah, we want to review your split. Right now, you can just file a combination, a partial combination, or file a sale of property to your neighbor without coming in for a full plat. This allows us to at least review that before it gets finalized. So this allows us to say, okay, yep, if you're going to do that, great. We want to make sure you come in and show us. We've had some issues in the past where there hasn't been the proper setbacks. They've sold off their property, and that makes makes one of the properties non-conforming. So now all of a sudden you have a non-conforming property there. Something happens to that, it can't get insured, it can't, and that's really, I guess, it's a problem of the property owner, but we want to at least be able to look at that. And so we sort of catch those ahead of time, have them come in, check those ahead of time, things like setbacks for driveway issues, access issues, making sure that the property does have right of way access. We've had some before. So this puts the procedures in place to allow that or to require that to come into the village and provide us that information. So, there's any questions about this? I know it's a big ordinance change. It's changes out there. If there's good reading. Yeah,
Your motion to send it to the board.
Second.
First by Justin Block, second by Simon. A vote please, Kim?
Mead,
Yes.
Rhoda,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Babcock, Simon,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes. Number 7, discussion and recommendation for approval of a text amendment revising the Village of Roscoe zoning ordinance article 7, chapter 155, relating to accessory structures and accessory buildings of the Village Code of Ordinances.
Here's which you've seen a lot of these, you continue to see these. This is one of the cleanup, zoning, amendments that we were bringing forward. We brought forward a lot already. As we're going through the zoning code, trying to enforce it, trying to actually use the zoning code. We find things that maybe either conflict with other sections, or maybe are not easily enforceable, or even aren't necessarily clear on what the zoning code requires. So as we see those, as our consultant sees those, as applicants for that matter, see those. And bring it to our attention, we look at those, and if we see something that, yep, this needs to be more clear, needs to be adjusted. Sometimes it's just matching up with what our practice has been and currently is. Sometimes it's just something to clarify, that's gonna be confusing in the code. This section here is, refers to swimming pools. Right now, it's just the definition of the accessory structures and pools. What's our current one we have? We have areas less than 1 acre, you cannot exceed 700 square feet in area for accessory structure, and greater it's 1,200 square feet. The issue is how a in-ground swimming pool is defined. And right now, our code essentially does not allow any in-ground swimming pools over, I think, like maybe, I don't know, like a 5x5, like 100 square foot or 200 square foot swimming pool. Just because how the code was written, sort of how it was maybe not thought through all of those different, portions of it. So this actually exempts out the in-ground swimming pools from that section. You still come in for a swimming pool permit. You still have to meet the setback requirements. You can't build your pool right on the property line. But you will be able to build a pool that's larger than 200 square feet on your property.
So currently you have to get a variance for a bigger pool?
You would have, yeah, I mean, that's not how we've ever enforced it or ever interpreted it, but yes, under the code, you would have to come in for a variance if you wanted a pool, in-ground pool that was larger than 200 square feet. Which is probably, vast majority of them.
So this says above ground pool though, so it would be for both.
Let's see.
It's
Above
taken
ground.
out
It
above.
was strict.
Correct, yeah, yes.
Yeah, both ground was strict.
Recommend move to the board.
Second.
First by Mike Simon, second Justin Block. Vote please, Kim?
Rhoda,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Mead,
Yes.
Block.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 8, discussion and recommendation of amendments to the village purchasing policy.
Yeah, I proposed to put this one on the board. Since I've been here, I felt like we need more communication. There's been a lot of times where I felt like I have not been in the know on a lot of some of the decisions of purchasing, decisions we have been made, and force that communication. I would like to put the resolution that we, move the, village presidents and village administrators purchasing power from 5,000 to the 2,500.
Define the problem. Give some specific examples.
I did
Did you bring up a motion?
bring up a motion.
I'll second your motion.
What was the motion?
To move the village administrator and president's purchasing authority from 5,000 to 2,500.
And Justin seconded it. We have a vote, please, Kim?
Wait, conversation,
Discussion, yes.
conversation.
Yeah.
Give some examples, define the problem,
There-
what other than using the expression openness, and I want to know.
Well, like Starbucks, I didn't know about Starbucks, some of the purchasings, that are being made.
Starbucks had nothing to do with purchasing.
Listen, I think, all right, so example, right, the next discussion item we're gonna have is an EV station for Hodges Run. That, we were not aware of, and the design was made for that. I'd repeatedly asked for detailed information, and I didn't receive that. So that was put on there, the third, we're gonna vote on that 3,500 for an EV station, and we as a board were not even aware that it was
an opportunity to have that there and it was gonna be used. So,
Well, I can say that this way, that change, I mean, you've been
It
had
was-
changes, but that change wouldn't affect this. So it's sort of trying to find out what the problem is, what the concern is, because the board approved that by resolution ahead of time. That wasn't anything that we chose. So I just want to make sure that we're addressing it, right?
yeah, that is my opinion. I feel like that we're not being informed and we're getting constantly out of the loop on a lot of these decisions. There's been a lot of unilateral decisions that are being made that we're not aware of as well. So, and I brought these up numerous times to go back to board minutes. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel about it. And I like to get boards.
Let's go back to the EV thing. We had a conversation with Joe Anderson, the designer of Place Foundry, and asked the question, how did this get in? It was never anything that anyone requested. So someone in that design team thought, they did a study and said there wasn't anything in our area, so let's put in an EV station. And I want to make clear that none of us ever asked for it. And then when we found it, it was,
Why would we pay for it then?
we're not.
We're not.
That's the second part of the conversation. We had a talk with them the other day in bid opening. Yes,
Sorry, no.
and said, how did this happen? We didn't ask for it. We're not gonna pay it. And they're going to absorb it, roll it back, whatever you wanna call it. It's not anything that the village is going to pay for. So someone within the organization took it upon themselves to, because once upon a time, there were lots of grants for this, and this was the agenda of the previous national administration to have EVs and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's kind of gone by the wayside now, and the grants have dried up. But still, there's somebody who thought there was a void here in the village of Roscoe. Next EV station is who knows where. They took it upon
I will
themselves.
say there is, as an EV driver, there is a void in charging in our area once you get past a certain
Right,
point.
right.
But on the same note, as someone who's helped research for people that want to add these to their businesses, depending on which charging station like that, it can be upwards of 30 grand for a
Yeah.
charging station.
Yes, but
I don't know what the design is for, because it's like,
the
you pick a place where you're gonna put the station, that's.
Well, it
that's
would have
up.
been, it would have been the service. Would have been, but regardless of all of that, when it was discovered that this was in there, it was brought to their attention and it was corrected, so it had nothing, it's a separate issue.
And overall,
Can we move back to number 8 and then bring this up at number 9? If we're gonna continue on EV stations. There's a motion by Mike Simon, a second by Justin Block.
But further conversation to reduce spending from 5,000 to 2,500 does not allow day-to-day functioning. All of you recognize that costs have escalated. Can't do much of anything these days. And there is a lot of oversight as it currently exists in the budget. You approve line items, you approve general projects and the total package. And then as things come through, they're paid for. For example, there will be a new signboard out front. That was approved in the general budget as a need for a signboard. So you approve the dollar amount and the concept of a signboard. So now the signboard is ordered and the signboard price is what, 3,800, 3,900, something like that. So it falls within that purview here. You approved it. And we just
That's
simply
very
are implementing. Yes, you did. You approved the concept of it, but not
There you go.
each
We heard
every
about it.
individual.
and that's what's required by our, yeah. Our code says that, yeah, and exactly, right? I can't. Council can't,
No one's.
and our
That's why, that's why.
staff
I'm bringing it up.
can't,
That's why I'm bringing it up.
yeah, unless it's in the budget.
I mean, it forces communication, it forces openness and transparency, which I feel we're lacking.
That's why I'm seconding, being accused of misusing funds ourselves. I mean, we've had situations with the village president having our staff paint personal furniture for her office. And I am fully in support of.
What are you talking about?
Purchase.
What you need an accusation? What are you talking about?
The tables you have in your office that you purchased and had our staff
Those tables were inherited. Cheryl Crowley left those things decades ago. They were not purchased. We're just left
I
there.
didn't hear about it. You're not first time hearing about it.
Yeah, but our staff painted them for your use.
They're used within. the
Public Works
building.
has way better things to do with their time.
It was a slow winter day.
Well, there's a motion on the floor.
Vote, please, Kim.
Rhoda,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Mead,
Yes.
Babcock. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, 9, discussion of the design work in amount of $3,500 as itemized on the Place Foundry Design invoice dated July 30th of 2025. Approved by the village board for an EV charging station at the Hodges Road parking lot. We need to. Since it's
Again, I say, I mean,
revised,
Well, can we
I
go
can
back
address
to the
that.
line, because we voted on, I asked for a bill, a detailed bill on Place Foundry. And only after we got the detailed bill did I see that there was some for the work on I-90, and then there was a separate charge for $3,500 for an EV station. And like John said, I mean, they're expensive to run, we've done the research, but we voted on that, not knowing that that was in that package. And approved it.
Yeah.
So now you're saying we have to go back, even though we approved it, and we're gonna go back and get the money back.
So, no, it was a pass through on that bill. So the amount that the board approved, the 39, no, what was it, 94,000, whatever the total amount was, the board
54.
approved, the $97,000, $930, right? That's what you approved for Place Foundry to do all the design, all the mechanical, electrical, all the design work for that. On that invoice that you're talking about, there was a pass through that they had when they had one of their consultants do the design work for the EV. So it was actually figuring out the capacities, figuring out I asked Joe about this, figuring out the sizes, figuring out the wiring, and I think also the easements for where it was going across, I guess, to the parking lot. That wasn't anything that we requested. That wasn't anything separate. The total $97,930 that the board approved, that's still the total amount the board's gonna pay, the village is gonna pay for that. It showed up on there as a separate line item on their invoice, because, and so there was something else on there too, that was the only one. And so that's how they do their billing. It's a pass through from, essentially from their consultant, in this case, their MEP consultant, pass it through to them. And that's why it showed up on there. The total bill is still the total invoice or the contract is still $97,930.
So we're
So
not,
that doesn't change at all.
we're not paying them that money.
We're not paying anything separate.
Never paid them that money.
Correct. No, we're paying our normal, whatever our total invoice is.
And
So-
that brings up the second question, and that is,
Yeah.
Joe sent out an update about the overruns at the Hodges Run project. And sort of where we're at, that we potentially may need to start looking at,
Yeah,
because the bids are coming in high, so that's.
the bids are higher, yeah.
So that's one of these things where, an EV station, having that type of thing there. Well, we have some discussion as to what the.
You know, I'm gonna have Joe, so James, next board meetings with September 1st, whatever it is, he'll be in here in person with all the bids, with all the. Joe Anderson, our designer from Place Foundry Design. We'll be in here to go over the whole project, what the bids came in as. We did a lot of alternates in there. A lot of the plans were set up as alternates, so they can sort of break down. You know, the per unit cost for the different types of project, the paving versus the curbs versus the main work. So he'll come in with all of that to be able to talk to you. He's talked to the contractors, got the information, and then the board will be sort of decide, okay, want to scale this project back? You know, do you want to phase it more? Do you want to scale it back more? I think maybe Mike was there. I was at the McHenry Riverwalk, their pop-up shops. You know, there's just a little more scaled back, and how they went about theirs. So, but that discussion, yeah, next week, or next 2 weeks from now, that'll be the discussion that Joe will be here to go over. Here's all the bids, here's everything that came back, here's the breakdowns, different portions of it, and to help prioritize what do you want to see on that.
We're using the McHenry pop-ups as an example. I've been at those a number
Yeah.
of times because of what I do with the realtors in Crystal Lake.
Yep.
One of the advantages they had with that partnership between them was that they had an active chamber of commerce from the city of McHenry. They had a chamber of commerce, a business alliance, and the city all working together.
Yeah.
To get a common goal. I know it scaled back a little bit, but that wasn't for lack of what they wanted. It was for lack of space. It was they were revitalizing a section of the city that basically was in turmoil for a long time. It was
Yeah.
blight everywhere. It's just not a fun place. But everything on the other side of the river that they just developed, where the Dixon is, where the new apartment building went up, when they rezoned everything. It shows what you could do in a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
Because that's only been.
Yeah,
the
having
last
that,
7 to 10 years that all
Yeah.
that's happened.
yep. And like you said, the key of that is having that business alliance or having their chamber of commerce really who's running, I think, full-time chamber of commerce. So.
I want to circle back before we end here. You mentioned that we should ask you, or how do you want us to ask for that? Secondly, I kind of have a problem. Does anyone else have a problem with Place Foundry selecting things for us? Anyone have an issue with that?
Well, if we wouldn't have asked for the invoice,
So, sorry for the word,
would we have
Choosing-
paid for it?
wrong adjective.
No, the
How would
total,
it have gotten discovered?
the entire bill, the entire invoice, entire contract would be that $97,930. That's what the board approved on
Yeah,
that.
we voted for it, not knowing that was in it, and then we got the invoice and it was in it. I get what you're saying, it's a lower.
Yeah. I mean,
There's some things.
Yeah, all those bills.
Procedurally,
So we need to go through every one of those now?
You can, we've had previous trustees, trustee Patty particularly, who would go through every single bill every week and look at all of them. I mean, you can absolutely, or if there's ones on there, you say, hey, what is this? You know, some of them you're not gonna care about all that much, but if you see one from Place Foundry, if you see one from, Vanderwall or from Fairgram or from this place. Sure, yeah, we can give you, obviously, I got the bills here, we used to bring them to all the meetings,
Who found this one? Found the EV in the bill.
I think Joe did.
Thank you.
I talked to Joe Anderson about it, yeah.
And does anyone have any concern that Joe had to find this one and it was brought up by another company and if Joe wouldn't have found it?
It's the
But
same
it's
thing that's
not-
always done,
It's,
invite everyone.
it's the total bill, the total amount is always gonna be that approved $97,000, right? So we have a contract amount with them.
Mhm.
They're showing us how they get the pass-throughs or how they get the stuff, but that's why we review bills, that's what we do.
That wasn't even in the, I asked for detailed drawings, the pictures, I've asked repeatedly for stuff like that.
It
That's not
wasn't,
it.
you're right.
We're not, nobody's
It's not
arguing with
so-
you on it.
So I mean, it just goes to sort of, is they just like padding it or?
But is certain things like that a possibility why bids are coming in higher? Cause if they're sending out like a scope,
Unfortunately,
EV
not.
station, you got your mechanical and engineering.
Unfortunately not, because a lot of those are all set as, we'll go over it with you next week, but they were all set as alternates. And you guys all have copies of the bid specs, you all got those ahead of time before we approved them, so it's not like you haven't seen those. But, yeah, they're all, we have lots and lots of alternates, we get a bunch of those to see what we want to do on those. So that's what all those are. So some of it, I think I guess we'll see what they are, but. He'll certainly that discussion about here's what the all came in as, here's the different unit prices.
So regardless
A
if
big part.
we do the design work for this or not, we still have to pay him for it? Is that what you were saying, is why you keep referring back to the $90,000?
Well, no, because that's the contract that we contracted him to do all the design stuff with it. How they sort of show separately, every,
Are we able
The
to pull this
subcontracts
out and
and
not pay this as part of the $90,000 is what I'm asking, I guess then.
The
in
conversation
the
was,
future, in the future, if there's, this is work they've done, but like if we don't go forward, if we just say, part of the contract is for, I won't look at the wording exactly of the contract, but part of the contract is for the construction, actual like project management, part of the construction and reviewing the invoices that they come through from the contractors and that portion. If we don't pay for that, if we don't do the construction, you're not
They're
gonna
just doing
get paid.
design work. We can't give them money back for the design.
Well,
work.
no, you're paying for the design work. You hired a company
Which
to
we didn't want. We didn't want design work for how an EV station is hooked up.
they're not charging us for the, I guess I don't know what the question is.
So did we pay for this or not, the EV charging?
No,
The design of it.
Correct, no, we confirmed with them, that's not part of our, that's not part of our bill, it's not part of our.
But I guess I don't know why, understand why that's on an invoice.
Yeah, for that thing.
That's my.
It was at first. Then when it was-
We checked it,
Then when it was checked, they
It
were,
was on an invoice that we voted for. We wanted to letter out, because we voted for that, and then we got the invoice on my request afterwards. That's the issue we have with it. I think all the board members have an issue.
Right,
with
no,
that.
I get what you're saying about being, we have a set bill price, that we have a contracted price. But then when we're seeing itemized items in that contracted price of things that we didn't request. So are they just,
Exactly.
that's what I know that's what you're getting at, it's like.
Are they adding things to?
Did they add all those itemized items up and give us a contracted number of this is the amount, and then it was like, oh, we don't want that, but no, oh, that's sorry, that 3,500 is actually this now.
I think they thought that we wanted to have that on there. But
They thought that we wanted that.
that's when they thought that they thought they were doing a.
social.
They didn't think of it as-
City.
Something.
Specifically, it's an environmental badge.
So we can all agree, can we not, that this was a snafu? And it was
Thank
corrected,
you.
and we're not going to, we'll be more vigilant.
And again, I'm always available.
Well, next.
Dan's
week-
always available. You get the bill list, you wanna see him ahead of time, like, I got no calls, but I'm more than happy to talk about the bills, or if there's questions, or even if you don't wanna talk about it.
Why was that bill voted
You
on?
can bring it
Why was that bill voted on without us having the detailed invoice first? I mean, you put it to vote on that, and we didn't know until after we got. we got the
They're
invoice
always
back.
available. Like I said, if you ever want to see I've got them here, I got the bills here, we used to bring them to all the meetings. If you want to stop by, we've had trustees who call, usually will look at the bill list, have questions, oh, what is this for? Can I see the invoice? Look at
Shouldn't that be part of the package? Shouldn't that be part of open meetings that we give the bills, ahead of time for consultant work like this? No.
I mean, we don't put them in, we don't put them in the bill pack because there's a lot of, we would be doing a lot of redaction on them. That's why we put the bill list in there, but the trustees absolutely can have them anytime. I mean, they're absolutely available.
Can we?
We always have we've had trustees usually in the past, always coming and look and ask on particular bills if they've had questions. Sometimes they, have concerns about certain consultants, so they'll ask about those.
Well, I'll ask going forward, anything coming from Place Foundry, could we please see a detailed list of what they are doing and what they are
We
charging?
can send you the invoice. I mean, when we have those bills, the bills are
That
here,
would be
we
great.
get those, we can. We
That would
have
be
those
great.
invoices.
We have seems
Yeah.
that we have a history of this with them, where we just get a big giant number and it's not telling us what it is.
I disagree with that. I will disagree with that, because I'm not gonna.
That's fine.
Don't want to have them. But yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Call me, call Ann, call the village, call Mark. You're right now, but call Mark, I mean, any of us ahead of time, we'd be more than happy to, or if there's one you just want us to bring and put up on the screen here. In a board meeting, we can do that too, but
Well, I
I'd
think
be
what Justin's
all
saying is, I think that,
Yeah.
that this doesn't involve confidence with Place Foundry, if, doing this. We wanted this and they put it in there. So there is concerns about it. And to me, I think, I don't know, we have to motion that. I don't want to motion it, but I think anything with Place Foundry moving forward that we have have it in advance.
yeah, I mean, you have all of those in advance, absolutely.
No, but
Like,
specifically.
but we can send out
specifically-
specific, put that in your.
We're
we can put the-
specifically asking you as a board, can you have the Place
We'll put
Foundry?
those, yeah, we'll have those put in the,
Okay,
your folder, not the packet, but your SharePoint folder.
thank you.
Any public comment? State your name, Terry.
Larry Brock, Kelmore Drive. I'm gonna be a repeat. Same thing today as the last 4 years. In the village to look into a loudspeaker system that we can hear. It's not too bad tonight because there's only 2 people here. But some nights when we have more, like earlier, when there were 6 or 7 people here, you can't hear a damn thing. And don't tell me to put my hearing aids in.
You're talking about microphones for all of us?
Yes.
Thank you.
The village had them at one time and they got rid of them. with all the technology there is around, I'm sure somebody in the IT department can look into something that can improve this system. But don't tell me there's not anything available. I don't believe it.
No, and that may go under ADA as well, Joe. I mean, for people that are here.
But we have microphones. I will bring them back. I don't want to take them out, but we will bring the microphones back.
Well, we took them out
Because
because
nobody was
it
using
doesn't
them.
work with
Well,
the
it
microphone
does, but
system.
nobody was using them. So you have to make sure you.
Well,
the big-
originally
that was the
you
big
had said it was interfering with our online system.
No,
is
it
why
works with
we
that. It works.
turned
that way.
them.
If we had somebody
It
that
works.
was
We should
staff
have
and
had
wanted
it.
an interpreter under ADA, we'd probably have to have that as well. So I mean, so if that's a request from a constituent, I think we should bring them back.
You know, you can't say nobody wasn't using them. You didn't like that thing hanging in your face. Everybody pushed it down before the meeting.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
I did not.
Right.
I'm new here.
You're the witness, Darren. Okay, you're the witness on it. Yes, absolutely.
Most people pushed them down. That they were below the countertop. I couldn't see them back here. Or you were hiding behind your computer with the microphones. What's the problem?
Is there a clip on one?
But yeah, lavender.
We'll do that, or we can just try the actual microphone system back here, as long as people are,
Can we do that next week for next week?
we should be able to, yeah.
All right,
I
thank you.
think they're still layered.
Right, any other?
No, I just wanted to thank, I'm here for the developer of Glenview. He had a family emergency and couldn't be here tonight and I'm the builder and
Sorry, we didn't call you.
what's that?
Sorry, we didn't.
No, it's okay. I'm really happy about that.
Okay.
Because there was an emergency, so I came here, but I just want to thank you. My son's a physician in Indianapolis and his wife's a family practice. They've just accepted contracts at North Point. And they felt it was really, really important to be in their community and be close to the people that they were going to be with. And so I worked with a developer to actually put this plating before you. And I thank you very much for pushing that forward because two fantastic physicians are coming into this community. And they're gonna be in the school districts and just be really good people. And I just wanted to convey that to you and kind of hoping that if this does pass, on September 2nd, that we're able to start as soon as possible because my wife has indicated that she does not want them to live with us any longer than possible. If you could help.
As someone who lived with their in-laws when he first moved to the area, this house.
Yeah, you're killing me. You're killing me, but the road's gonna take some time, but hopefully we can get started before that. So I just wanted to thank you as a board from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, can I get your name, please?
Yeah, John Haymaker,
Can you spell your last name?
HAMAKER.
He's a little gray,
Dude, I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I'm a little older. A little older, mate.
That's my wife Karen.
No need for executive session.
Can we go back to presentation?
Presentations.
Can you give a very short summary of a presentation of, you're thinking about who is going to guide the Business Alliance for free?
Yes, there's a group out there. I'm not gonna tell you who it is yet, unless that's decided. There's a group out there that has already done it. There was a meeting held earlier this week with that individual and another. Free to our cost, free to our village. A group that's already done it.
So in the spirit of full disclosure, you can't disclose anything.
No, I'm not gonna disclose that until it's voted, unless it's voted on, no.
I think the other thing is, just like the mayor, we're talking about taxpayer dollars.
Being used.
Businesses, we can get it up and running, but if we can do it without taxpayer dollars, that's good as well.
That might be better spent. So, seeding that group and getting them going. Like I said, 2 years ago, and you were there, you were sitting there,
For this,
and you were sitting there the night that person presented as well. It's a great commodity that I think we're passing on. Okay. And let's go full disclosure. I had them meet with this person,
Mr. Packard,
possibly, yes,
just wanted to know.
There you go. plus others that I've not officially spoken to that are with Beloit 2000. It's now been operating for quite some years.
Well, it's exciting.
No, the group,
Very good, very good.
in my opinion, shouldn't go away, that's all.
I can't hear you, Carol.
I was just asking him who he was recruiting to guide the Business Alliance individuals. And he indicated it were some of the members who participated in the Beloit 2000 program and one that was spearheaded by Jack Packard. Jim Packard Senior.
Thanks.
Now adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I gotta go